Hello, and this is our FA critique on the Journal Club, and we are going to get into it now.
So first we're going to talk about research quality. So how thorough and well-researched is the presentation? We felt that the research quality for both PYD and PATH was insufficient for a review. We found the presentation for PYD, the research was difficult to follow and understand. The information felt disorganized, repetitive, and incomplete. We had to watch it several times to understand the content. We still didn't have a complete understanding of how the program is implemented into the community. There didn't seem to be an in-depth understanding of the model, and the information collected only seemed to scratch the surface. There wasn't a clear outline of how PYD could be applied, and the target audience wasn't shared until about halfway through. Also, the articles collected for PYD did not include dates, so it is difficult to conceptualize when and where this model would be applied.
For PASS, we found the information about PASS to be out of date, which made it inappropriate, inconsistent, isolating, and uncredible to the PYD. Due to these influencing factors, PASS research, being over 25 years old, contribute to the barrier of comparing it to PYD. That the information felt superficial. This made the comparison inaccurate and added to the difficulties we had with the information being compared. Between this being the only source for PASS and it being 25 years old, the PYD not including dates, it made it in comparison near impossible.
The presentation clarity. The headings are a bit inconsistent with what info is being shared. It wasn't consistent enough. The text is overwhelming and could have been split up on the slides. I think the text on the first three slides could have been split up into multiple, and I think because of that, it was just really overwhelming getting all that information at once. The
So
critical
for the
analysis.
critical, oh, sorry.
No, hon, it's okay. If you want to do it, it's okay.
I was just gonna say, like, for the critical analysis, we felt that the analysis on the information was done like there's just not enough information. It wasn't really critically analyzed because there was so few sources. The sources weren't scholarly. They were out of date. There was a lot of issues with it, and the lack of relevant information made the reliability really low. And then we also felt that there wasn't really an argument. It was just a display of the information about both programs. There wasn't like one side or the other or arguing which is better or worse. It was just the programs and then nothing really else to kind of talk about.
Okay, so for areas of excellence, we think the decision for the design of the PowerPoint theme was fun and inviting and had the opportunity to be engaging with the layout and coloring. The slides did flow from one slide to another very well, along with who was talking. It also felt it was distributed through the group evenly with the slides and information.
I also really like to be able to see your guys' faces and teams as well.
With the same backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunities for improvement, the organization of the information. So it could be clear and more consistent. For example, the breaking it up into more slides, the changing the use of the outdated language, like mentally disturb, to more current appropriate language. Clarifying more on how PYD and PATH are implemented in the space, not their benefits or um, what they do, just more how is it being implemented.
And so looking at like the impacts and how we had our understanding of the programs and their application in the child and youth care field, We found that the distribution of the content in this presentation influenced the ability to understand the information that you guys were delivering. It also impacted the cohesiveness of the presentation negatively. We found that the frames were overloaded with information, which impacted the flow and comprehension of the content that you guys shared. Further, we also found that the program's information was super superficial. They therefore did not clearly articulate how they could or could not be applied in a child and youth care practice. Looking at this from a critical thinking lens, we find it difficult to analyze these presentations with the perspective of applying it in a child and youth care field, as the information was not conveyed clearly. We found that due to these reasons, our knowledge and perspective of the two topics could be potentially skewed, as our understanding is superficial, misunderstood, and incongruent. We believe that this could impact our personal biases and our future practice with these applications and our approach in utilizing them if given the opportunity to in the field.
Okay, so the connections to outside literature, we noticed there was only 3 references used in this journal club when there was supposed to be at least 5 of them. Going through these references, we noticed that none of them were peer-reviewed articles. One of the articles was from 1998, which is well over 10 years. Also, the other 2 articles did not include dates, therefore we were unsure how old those ones were.
Yeah, and that also affected our ability to compare. Thanks. And that's what's Focus Fam.